We're back. We're back again. The Kings are back.
Mendam.
Mandem in the building. Jackman, mate, how are you on this Saturday hour?
Bro, really good actually. Had a really productive morning this morning, so I'm pretty happy with the output of work. Had a run club this morning with yourself. Shout out to the So-So Run Club.
Wait a minute.
The So-So Run Club.
Yep, So-So's Run Club.
Yep.
Thank you for that hardcore session.
Yes, that was a good 5K. The sun was out.
Really good 5K along the river.
Yeah.
Which is always very scenic as well.
Do you feel like when you were running, your eyes got a bit blurred by the sun rays hitting like the water, and when you looked up, you just saw your eyes get like sort of blacked out a bit?
That was a very detailed description.
Yeah, I felt.
But no.
So I was trying not to look out to the water, and I just kept my eyes on the pavement and what was in front of me.
Shit. I was just worrying about my knees, to be honest. I think as soon as I got to the halfway mark, like my knees just started, that's when they start to hurt.
Yeah.
A little bit. And then, it gets starts to get in your head.
Yeah, that's
but, you just push through the pain.
That's it.
That
was a good
David
session.
Goggins.
Yeah.
He's
that guy?
What?
I don't know him.
Bro. Okay, Google.
Okay. We might talk about it next episode.
Yeah, so come back next episode and I'll ask you,
okay,
what you think of David Goggins. But, bro, he's the epitome of never give up.
Yeah, wow.
Never say never. Never say die.
Never say die.
So, David Goggins,
okay.
Look him up.
Look him up.
All right. So, yeah, last episode, I guess we gave people an insight into our upbringing.
Yeah.
Going from Papua New Guinea, moving to Australia, what that was like. Then we touched on.
We spoke about our goals.
Goals, yes,
Yep.
goals, and our holidays.
And our holidays, yes.
That's right.
Yep.
So three very
broad topics, would you say, or
quite broad, but also just it gave an insight into the people that on this podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was good to get that off the chest, off our chests in the first episode. So
yeah.
I mean, now it's a free game.
That's it.
Yeah, it's hunting season.
The boys will come out to play.
Nah, so, mate, you said this morning that you went to the Broncos v Dolphins game last night.
Yes, I did. Actually, it was really good.
How was that?
Bro, honestly, I rocked up a bit late. So the game had started at 7 o'clock. I think I got there about 7:05. But the atmosphere was unreal. I think it wasn't like Origin, but the actual crowd that was there was close to Origin numbers. So it was like 51,027 people. Origin gets close to around 55. So like for a club game, that's back to Broncos numbers when they were winning premierships, or playing finals footy.
Yeah.
So I think the crowd was unreal. It actually showed that rugby league is the number one sport in Brisbane because that outranked the AFL that was on that night too as well in terms of attendance. And AFL only had like 33K, so NRL had like 51. So there was like 19 odd or 18 odd more K people that went too.
Yes, that's crazy. Well, I mean, it's just Queensland is a rugby league mad state.
Yes, 100%.
Everywhere you go, all the way out, out west, then up north.
Yeah.
Everyone just loves rugby league, which is why it's been such a good thing to have, the 17th NRL team in Brisbane, another team in Brisbane that, people can support and barrack for.
100%.
Because, I think people just got to a point where, the Broncos had been around for quite some time. And actually, there have been a lot of, people move from other states to Brisbane, migrate from Melbourne to Sydney, especially after what happened in COVID and the lockdowns that they experienced in their states. So I've met a lot of people who have moved up, and I think, they've jumped on that bandwagon too, following a new team, which is the Dolphins. So, I mean, they have had a great start. 3-0 going into last night's game. It was quite unfortunate what happened to Kafusi.
Yes.
Because, his tackle wasn't even that bad.
No, compared to other ones.
Compared to, some of the ones that got lesser charges.
Yes, yep.
So that was disappointing. He's out for a month, and then the other one was Katoa. In the final minutes, they ruled him out, and Milford
got the start.
So, I mean, there are a few things that went wrong in the week leading up to the Broncos, and also that day. But to be honest, they did an amazing job.
Exceptional, effort
against the Bronx. Who,
who are flying.
They're the best start, in a couple of years now. And what do you think has been, the reason why the Bronx are playing so well?
I actually think that's a good question. Off the back of the disappointment that they had last season, so they had a really good start, like what they have right now. But then they got to the last, I think, 7 or 8 weeks of footy at the back end of last year, and they lost, I think, 7 of their last 8 games.
Yeah, I remember that.
That actually pushed them down to 8th or 9th, and then they didn't end up playing finals footy at all. So I think that disappointment, coupled with the fact that Adam Reynolds is actually having a full season under his belt at the Broncos, and the understanding of the coaches and the club with Kevy, that experience, and then I think also the addition of Reece Welsh coming in from the Warriors, Payne Haas playing really good footy, Patrick Carrigan signing on for another 4 years, I think. Actually, Broncos are building up, and I think this is, that's my opinion, the testament to how great footy they're playing at the moment. Everyone's just doing their job. I think that's the thing too as well. Like when everyone does their job, it makes, the team function really well.
Yeah, and that's exactly like, you see the same things with the Dolphins. But with the Dolphins, I think it's been the defense. The last few weeks has been quite surprising, actually. Like, for a new club, your defense, it's always hard to, gel with people or connect with people that you've only just met like a couple of months ago.
That's true.
But, good old Wayne Bennett and his, what should we say, white magic.
Yes.
He sprinkles some of that dust on the Dolphins, and they're playing really good footy. Because, look, I don't think... And we're back. Sorry, guys. We had some technical difficulties there. But we were on the Broncos and Dolphins.
Yes, and you were just talking to us about why you think the Dolphins are doing well with their defense.
Yes, that's right. The 3 opening matches we've seen, Kafusi come into his own and those 2 big hits on, and not on small guys.
Oh, no.
On some forwards.
Yeah. And the other one was he rattled Brendan Smith in the first game.
Cheese.
Those are 2 solid players.
The block of cheese. Yeah, got him good.
Yeah.
Got him in the ribs, winded him, and he was down.
I think he didn't play as well after. He was rattled.
He was rattled. Yeah. So I think Broncos gone really well.
Yeah.
The attack is gelling. Their spine is looking really good. Reece Welch, out of the blocks, he's just an athlete. So fast when he gets the ball.
Acceleration so quick.
Yeah, he's just electric. Then, Dolphins defense is what's, keeping them up. And what surprised me is the young Katoa.
Yeah.
Just his, for someone who's, come from a rugby union school in Sydney, played into the NRL. I mean, obviously he played in the World Cup with Tonga, but now we get to see him do it week in, week out for an NRL club.
Yeah.
And he's just looking like right at home, so he'll be really good for them, in the long run.
Yeah, no, I think that's actually such a good point, because I think that World Cup experience with Tonga and playing with the likes of Tomalolo, all those experienced players that have sort of set themselves up well in the NRL already, sort of gave him that extra confidence. And I think having someone like Wayne also believe in you, like he's probably one of the greatest coaches to coach the game. So having someone like him believe in you gives you a lot of confidence to play the best you can, and your natural ability, like to also back yourself. I think a lot of people forget that footy is about confidence. Like when you play confidence football, you're like, you're always going to do the best, because that's when you're at your like optimum to like decision making, everything from kicking, passing. Like, if you have that, it's not arrogance in a way, but it's just like, you're good enough to be there kind of thing. And that's why I think having that confidence has helped him a lot.
No, definitely. I think he's got all the talent in the world. And I think I heard Jesse Bromwich say that he's been quite surprised, or they all have been quite surprised at how level-headed he is.
Well, yep.
Like throughout the preseason when he first got there, he's got a good family around him. They're all very supportive. He's level-headed, which is important for a half. So really good signs for the Dolphins. Obviously, he'll be there for many years to come if they keep him. Yeah,
that's it. And I guess also testament to the NRL for also like giving them an option to be the 17th club, because I think that Peninsula, like the Redcliffe's always been such a strong intra Super Cup team. Like they've won, a couple of premierships in the last couple of years, and then having a nursery of talent out that way. And I think even they expand up to Sunshine Coast and up north even further to Mackay. So places like that where, and I think it was just a great choice by the NRL to make them the 17th club, because it's just paying off dividends. I didn't expect them to do this well, but they've proven a lot of people wrong, which is, testament to the footy team.
That's it. And speaking of choices the NRL has made, I've seen on the news that there's been talk of expansion of of NRL, and being in an 18th, 19th team.
Yes.
And there is a possibility of having a PNG or a Pacific team, which they mentioned. And I know a lot of people back home in Papua New Guinea have their opinions on having an NRL side, but just wanted to pick your brains on how you feel or what you think about having a PNG NRL team in the league. Like, do you think it's a good idea, or do you think it is something that we're not ready for yet?
I think we're still a little bit further away than where we should be at. That's not to say it could happen in the next 5 to 10 years. I think the nursery of talent and the grassroots in PNG needs to improve a lot, because we need to make players that come out of PNG, like have a good development where we can breed our own players to come up and play some good footy as they get older, and have a pathways from grassroots to NRL. And I think once we sort that out, which, I have no doubt if we have the right people at the right places, that could happen. I just think it will probably need a little bit more time for them. And I also feel with a lot of influence from the Australian government, because I think they're trying to strengthen the relationship with PNG a lot more, just because they're worried that the influence of China, from what I read on the news.
That's another topic of discussion for a different podcast.
That's it. But so this is obviously things that I've read from the news, and nothing valid in my opinions, but I think that's also going to impact how much funding goes into getting a team that would come up. But I think we're not ready yet, but definitely in the next 10 or so years, we could see a team in there. it's just about getting the right people at the right places to make that happen.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. We're definitely not there yet. Like, you look at a team like the Redcliffe, right? They've been dominant Q Cup side since, the early 1900s or whatever.
Yeah, yep.
So they've already built a club history, a legacy. They have fans that have been with them through generations, and they have junior clubs within the area and pathways into the Interest Cup side. So just by looking at that already, you can tell that there's a organization which is the Redcliffe Dolphins, which are already set up, and they have a community which is almost like a little economy up there, and a following, and they've got junior pathways, which is very important. And you touched on that, having grassroots and those pathways. And I think at the moment I don't see it. I know people who live back home, you don't see it. You don't see a really good, strong junior comp or junior comps, say in Port Moresby, in Ley, in Rabaul, in Madang, in Wewak, all the main centres. There needs to be at least strong junior comps in those regional towns, even in Port Moresby. Under 12s, under 13s, under 14s, under 15s, under 16s, under 17s. Then you go into Colts.
Yeah.
And what they should be doing is, so you have your feeder clubs. So, you've got your Hello Wigman, you've got your Port Moresby Vipers, for example. So, Port Moresby Vipers, that's the end goal, right? That's like your NRL club.
Yeah.
Then, you have something underneath that. So you might have, in Port Moresby Vipers, you might have, a Hohola team.
Yeah.
Boroko team.
Erima, Tox.
Yeah.
All those places.
And then that's where your little, your young juniors come from. Because they go and join, Boroko Binatangs or whatever. They go play there, they get coached by good coaches who show them, proper tackle technique, show them how to pass, just your general, like, rugby
IQ sort of things.
have to know drills. So once you get that set up, I think then you're able to put forward a case to join the NRL. At the moment, we're only seeing people. Say, for example, like, I think when I was, growing up there, I think soccer was, the main sport everyone played when you were in primary school.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So, like, grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, everyone played soccer. And then as you started to form, like, and get a bit bigger, like 15, 16, you went straight and you played in, like, Colts.
Yeah.
Like, and you're playing with, like, 18, 19-year-olds. So, like, there's really no proper development.
Yes.
If you're a young kid, you're pretty much just thrown into the deep end, and you need to play with the big guys to prove yourself, and then you go from there. So, it's a no for me.
Yeah.
With the NRL team, I think we've got a long way to go. You need to be able to fix your own bedroom before you venture into the kitchen.
Yes. No, I actually also think your point about having a strong organization, that's what we don't understand, is we have to have a good, strong organization outside of that pathways things that we also mentioned. Like you pointed out that Redcliffe has a good sort of organization that they've been able to build for a long time, and we need to make sure that with the Hunters, obviously we've had them in the Q Cup for a little bit now, but that organization needs to build and get stronger over time. And then once that also gets sorted, and then we sort out our pathways in the development, then, those two things marry up. We're in a good spot to push for that NRL bid to join the comp.
Mm-hmm. No, that's I agree with everything, and Yeah, it's going to take some time.
Yes, yeah.
I think you need the right people in place. But speaking of the right people, we wanted to. I mean, a question popped into my mind the other day.
Yeah, yeah.
And since we're on the topic of sports, we may as well discuss or debate. Who is PNG's, Papua New Guinea's best ever or top sports person? And this can be debated because
Yes.
we can say who has won the most gold medals, who has been the most influential. But I mean that's why we're here, right, to solve these problems.
Yeah.
So give us probably 3 people who come to mind when you think of PNG, top sports people.
Yeah. I'll put Ryan Pinney there.
Yes.
Then probably David Mead.
Yeah, King.
And then I reckon Dikatoa from
you have to have her in there.
There's others like Will Ganya and all those, but I think from a influence point of view and how those people have influenced like the PNG people back home, probably Dikatoa is the one that stands out the most, just because she's from the village. She grew up in, I think, Hanobara.
Yeah.
And then she was able to get through all those things to go and compete. I think she won a Commonwealth Game medal.
Gold medal, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they participated in the Olympics. So I think having that background and that struggles, I mean, not to say David had his own struggles too as well, so did Will and everyone else, but I think if I had to justify my reasoning, it would be because of her and how, her upbringing and everything was in a way, I don't know if it was challenging, I don't really know the lady herself, but I think from that point of view, but those are the 3. What about yourself?
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, these are just our opinions, right?
No,
People out there, you might know someone who you think is a valid
and let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know, all of you 60 viewers that have viewed our first video.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks, guys. So feel that one in here, but look, Ryan Pinney. He I just have memories of watching him every games in your living room, and everyone, the whole nation stopped to watch him. I guess it was the same for Dika. The whole nation stopped to watch her because she was gonna win a medal, and then when she went and won gold, she just stole the show. And for her to be a person from the village, as you said, and has come up, and she was back in her prime, a force to be reckoned with within the weightlifting world.
Yes,
and she's still an idol for so many young people around the country. And then you go on to so probably more recently, you look at someone like Justin Olam. Who's his story is amazing. How he's got a chemistry degree, I believe.
I think applied science is the bachelor's.
Applied science, so he's not just a dumb footy player. He's got the brains behind him. And I think that just shows every young kid back home that you can go to uni and you can study and you can make the NRL. Which is what he's done. So Justin's up there. Then you sort of go back and you look at guys like Marcus Bai, and he was one of the first to do it. Come from Rabaul and brought over into Melbourne when there probably wasn't many Papua New Guineans over there, and he's gone and made that wing his own wing. And he carved up against a lot of teams, and Melbourne Storm have a lot of respect for Marcus. From what I can hear, and I mean he's paved the pathway for guys like Justin Olam to get in there. And then you touched on Will Genia. I remember watching him when I first, went to Naji as a young kid, and like, we'd be boarding, so we'd stay in on the weekends, and you'd watch the Reds, and like back then, him and Quade Cooper were just fucking unreal.
Big
so
B
like,
on the wing too,
Big B, like doing the breakdance, like when he scored a try, like in Tapawai, Anthony Fainga, like you just look back at those guys, and when you're a young kid watching them at school, you just wanted to be like them, and you wanted to play like them, and you wanted to make the Reds, and you wanted to make the Wallabies because they were. They were really good in their era, but also because Will was Papua New Guinean, so that's what drove me, to play well, and because I wanted to be up there. So, I mean, he's definitely up there. David Mead, as you said, like, he's be the skipper of the Kumals is a different thing. Like, I would love to ask him that question.
How does it
one day?
Yep.
Like, how there's a lot of weight on your shoulders, and the whole country is watching you. As the skipper for the Kumals, and how do you think? What's running through your mind when you run out on the field? Like, do you have to calm yourself because you might be feeling overwhelmed by emotion. So like, there's a lot of different people, and
man.
I think if I had to sum it up,
it's tough.
That's really hard for me.
And
I don't know.
Yeah, I actually think while you think about that, like another thought that came to my mind when you were talking about that was, it's also like subjective to the person. Like to your point about Will and having him as a guy that you looked up to, because obviously you were into rugby union and he played rugby union. So I think people that have
that's a great point.
Those fields that they're in and they're really into those kind of sport, then those people that they look up to might be the reason why they value them as the number one. I mean, an athlete that they look up to, that they like put up there as their most one, like the number one, I guess, for them.
The number one. So it is very debatable. It's a topic for discussion.
Yes, that's it.
But if I could go top three, it'll probably be David Mead, Will Genier, and I don't know. We'll go half and half with Ryan and Dikator.
Yeah, good shout.
Yeah, that'll do me.
I think they were good choices.
No, thank you. Well, I just wanted to do this, last little thing before we call it quits here. But I'm just gonna, go off the top of my head and ramble on some questions. I just wanted to, it's rapid fire questions.
Yeah, okay. I guess this would be good to get the viewers to know us a little bit more too as well.
Yeah.
With these questions.
I mean, I'll think about them.
Yep.
I'll rattle them off, and then you can just say yes or no, or say the answer.
Okay. Easy.
Okay. Dolphins, Broncos.
Dolphins.
South Sydney or Manly tonight?
South
Sydney. Latrell and Cody, yes.
Yes, yep.
Okay. Maroons, Bulls.
Tough. Like this year to win? Or
just who do you barrack for?
Queensland?
Yeah.
it's tough because a lot of because I've been living here, but back home is to support the Blues, so it's.
Oh, so you're torn.
I'm torn, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee guy. Yeah. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Rugby league or rugby union?
I gotta say league.
Yeah, league day. What else is there? Apple or Samsung?
Apple.
Yes, Apple guy. Smart guy. And I think that's all I've got for the moment.
Thank you.
Obviously, I'll prepare more next week.
That's it. Looking forward to it.
But hey, we're on the go.
That's it.
Oh, fucking awesome.
Thanks,
Well, there you
Richie.
have it, folks. We're done for this episode, and stay tuned for next week's.